course, we don't have a whole lot of experience in the Canadian context with respect to the Community Land Trust. There is very episodic examples in different parts of the country, but nothing that has grown or has scale as it does in the United States. So really one has to look to the US experience and ask the question, why do municipalities as governments having such an interest that's evolved in community land trusts? Now, it's important to understand that in many, many municipalities, the community land trust groups were like points of contention. They were in conflict with municipalities, often in their evolution over the last 30 years, because this land tenure form was considered kind of countercultural, or kind of almost, one wouldn't say revolutionary, but if you're talking about taking land back into the commons and putting it under a form of community ownership, even though it's very democratic, right, and multi-stakeholder, what you found once the last decade came into play, and once we hit the crisis, 2006, 7, 8, municipalities, Chicago, Irvine, California, Atlanta, Jersey City, I mean, you just go through a whole series of cities who are facing an affordability crisis for more and more of their population, who have been putting money out, or rent controls, or grants for home ownership, or trying to find ways in which the municipality could, in fact, impact in a positive way the affordability of people's living situation. And what they had is they had money going out the door, and given the home ownership bias in the US, had people pocketing the gains from the marketplace and exiting, and every time that happened, you have to put more money into the kitty to keep it affordable for the next group, right? So they saw that what you had going on in community land trusts is, because it was held in common, because it was held in common for community benefit, and because there was a cap on any equity that was based on a formula to keep it affordable for people in the low to mid income ranges, they saw that it achieved that. And so they started to say, well, why don't we begin to invest and partner with these kinds of groups, right? Because they're going to get us a lot more mileage for a taxpayer's dollar than we're getting from other kinds of forms of trying to impact the affordability of people, right? And of course, they're also looking at it from a broader point of view, which is, if people can't afford to live in a place, it has an impact on the community economy. So that's two reasons. The third reason is that when they saw people getting evicted, the millions of people that got evicted from their houses that they owned over the last 5 years, and it's still going on in the United States, they saw that in the United States, the community land trusts had very, 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 very small number of people that were ever evicted. Why is that? That is because the land tenure model, coupled with an orientation of the community land trust organization to supporting people and providing them with the supports they need and the education they need to understand what they're getting into, and because they helped a lot of people avoid the brokers from the mortgage brokers who were out there hawking mortgages that were worthless from the outset, those municipalities are sitting there looking, very few evictions and delinquencies that are way lower than the normal mortgage market, never mind the subprime mortgage market where you had basic corruption built into the system. So the municipalities had those three reasons for beginning to say, oh my goodness, this makes sense from a municipal point of view.